Okay, what I'd like to describe is something called the blood urea nitrate creatinine ratio. I apologize for my voice. I've got quite a cold. So this is called blood urea nitrate creatinine ratio. It's abbreviated the BUN CR ratio. What this ratio can tell us is it can tell us a little bit about kidney function. The reason it can tell us this is because both of these are metabolites. They're going to be made at a regularly constant rate. Blood urea nitrate is made with the breakdown products of protein. Creatinine is a metabolite made during normal muscle function. And again, they're made at roughly the same rate. Where they differ, though, is how the kidney deals with them. I'd probably recommend, before you watch this video, if you have not watched the video on glomerular filtration rate, you might want to watch that one first, because in that one, I will take you a little bit more through glomerular filtration. What I'm drawing here is something called the glomerulus, and this is a regular part of the kidney. So the kidney would look something like this, and the kidney would have about 1 million glomeruli. So these little purple dots are glomeruli. There's about 1 million of them per kidney. So this is the glomerulus. This is called the afferent arteriole. This is called the efferent arteriole. So afferent brings blood in, efferent takes blood out. Another key part is this glomerulus is a filter. Filters everything smaller than a protein under normal working conditions. And it makes a ton of what's called filtrate. It makes about 180 liters a day. And what you have to do, what your kidneys have to do, is they dump all this into the filtrate, and they have to take back things that they want to take back. So there'll be things over here like glucose and vitamins and amino acid that have to make their way back into the blood. I'm going to do creatinine in green. Creatinine is a waste product, and so that will be in the blood, and some of it will make it through here. It won't get filtered, and so it's going to remain in the blood. But most of it is going to get filtered, and the thing about creatinine is once it's in these tubules, so I didn't really go into detail about the different structures here. If you watch the other video, you can see those. This is called Bowman's capsule, the proximal convoluted tubule. I've kind of straightened out the loop of Henle, and the distal convoluted tubule. Where this is heading eventually is to urine. So creatinine, once it's filtered and it makes it into these tubules, it stays in the tubules until it heads into the urine. Blood urea nitrates is a little bit different because it's lipid soluble. So some of it might remain back here in the blood. Most of it's going to get filtered. But because it's leaky, it doesn't necessarily stay in the tubule. Some of it can leak back into the blood. And when it leaks back into the blood, it means there's more of it right here. So just by the way I've drawn my arrows, I'm trying to show you that in the blood, back in the blood, there's going to be more blood urea nitrate than creatinine. So we have a ratio here, and it's usually expected to be around 10 to 1. 10 to 1. And this equals normal. So one more time through that. Creatinine might stay back in the blood, but most of it's going to get filtered. And once it's in the filter system, it's basically going to head to urine. It doesn't leak back. Creatinine, on the other hand, some will remain back in the blood. That which is filtered is going to, some of it is going to leak back into the blood. So there might be more blood urea nitrate back into the blood. A normal ratio would be 10 to 1. Just draw the same glomerulus. Let's talk about a different ratio. A different ratio is when there's excess blood urea nitrate. So again, this would head to urine. You get excess blood urea nitrate creatinine ratio if there's something called a low GFR. GFR means glomerular filtration rate, and a low GFR means that things are going through these tubules so slow that they have a chance to leak. One of the main things that's going to leak is blood urea nitrate. First though, let's draw creatinine. Creatinine, again, some of it will stay back in the blood. That which enters the tubules is all going to head down to urine. Urea, some of it might stay back in the blood. Most of it's going to get filtered. But because it naturally leaks out of these tubules, And because the flow rate is so low, a lot of it is going to leak out. So again, if we look at this ratio right here, we'd expect a much higher ratio of BUN to CR. So this would be a greater than 20:1 BUN equals pre-kidney failure. The kidneys are still working, and stuff is still entering the nephrons. We're still getting rid of creatinine, obviously, but things are going so slow that something is wrong. Something is developing. Let's draw one more condition, and that one more condition is what if the ratios are the same? The ratios are the same. What this is telling us is blood urea nitrate no longer has this advantage. So up here, blood urea nitrate can leak back, and so it has an advantage. It's going to be at a higher concentration in the blood. In this case, it's leaking back, and it's leaking back really quite a bit, and so that's going to create an advantage. If there's no advantage, if the ratio is less than 10:1, then we're saying basically that they're the same. Blood urea nitrate and creatinine are the same in the blood. And that's going to tell us that we are in full kidney failure. Because again, the only way that urea does not have this advantage is if it doesn't pass through the kidney at all. So the only way that creatinine and urea are equal is if we bypass the kidney completely. So a ratio less than 10:1 indicates kidney failure.